American booty scratcher. They said that I cannot speak on the foundational Black American movement because I'm married to a booty scratcher. Here's what I think about the FBA movement and any other movement that has to do with Young Pharaoh, Brother Polite, Dr. Umar Johnson, all of these movements that y'all look up to, all these men, okay, that I guess guide you to help elevate your consciousness. Here's what I would say about the FBA movement. It's no different than the KKK. Meant to divide, meant to separate you, to isolate you, to have you looking at other races that look like you and hating them for no reason.
A few moments later.
To anybody that felt offended by me referring to FBA as the KKK, to anybody that I've offended, I didn't mean to offend you. I'm completely ignorant when it comes to this movement. I just know how I felt when I was attacked, when my family was attacked, and I decided to just, here we go. I want the people that y'all listen to, if they are true educators in this FBA lineage, I want to talk to them.
Yo, what's good, y'all? Elite Live Streams. We back with another one. How you guys doing out there? Welcome to another Elite Live Streams. What a week it's been. There's been a lot going on, man. Obviously, like I said, you know, y'all, I'll be popping in and popping out, doing what I gotta do. What up, Lynn? How you doing? Just, you know, doing what I gotta do, tending to things in my life. But every so often, obviously, there's been a lot of these stories that have been going and coming, and a lot of people have had a lot to say. Hold on, let me make sure my fans is off real quick. Let me turn this down real quick because that shit's kind of loud. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right. So, obviously, there's been a lot going on, and a lot of people have been making a lot of commentary. You know what I'm saying? For the lack of better words, a lot of commentary. And so, obviously, with all of that commentary that's been going on, a lot of people have been, in my opinion, speaking on things that they're not necessarily educated enough on. And I think Tasha K has got into a lane that just is not her lane, okay? She is a gossip columnist. Thanks. That's basically crossing over into these new topics. Obviously, a lot of people have been talking about the Nolan Wells and Carmelo Anthony cases, as well as the Cyrus Carmack Belton case as well. You guys know over here we've covered those stories extensively. So with that being said, that has now become a part of the blogosphere, meaning that a lot of people just see this as content. You know what I'm saying? And yes, she has, you know what I'm saying? Right. Salute, Lynn. Yeah, she has. She's been a ratchet mess. And obviously, I think what we've been seeing over time is the fact that there's a pattern, correct? And the pattern has usually been that foundational Black Americans do not control the narrative. right? We've known this is a part of how the media controls propaganda, how our images is shown throughout worldwide view, right? And the fact that as we have become more savvy and more independent, right, we've been able to now debunk a lot of those narratives. We've also been able to speak for ourselves. And this has changed the game, in my opinion, right? This is why the delineation movement has been so powerful, is because not only has it given us the opportunity to be able to reach one another, but it has also collectively put us all on code, right? And that's kind of where we're at today. That's what we're going to talk about today, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We're not just going to talk about, of course, what Tasha K had to say, because we're going to talk about that. But we're also going to talk about what's been happening just in general with how foundational Black Americans have changed the narrative. And now we control our own destiny, if you will. And we're going to talk about that, man, because I feel like right now there is a very, very pivotal thing that's happening while all these other things have been going on, correct? And let me make this clear, y'all. The fact of the matter is, when we're watching and we're being observant, but then we're also participating, right? It starts to create what? It starts to create a collective agenda, okay? And collectively, we're on code. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what this is about today. FBA on code. You know what I'm saying? That's what it feels like. Everybody's on code. We doing what we gotta do. Greetings, Noble. Oh, salute to brother Amani Bay. Salute, brother. He says, greeting, Noble. Many people are being disingenuous because if you listen closely to Tasha K, she said that she would not go against her mother, grandfather, or children. Means mother is African. Correct. And I think, you know, her personal ties have now come back to bite her. And obviously, we started to see as well the ties, like I had to include Poetic Flacco in this conversation today, because he is a part of this media propagandist behavior that we've started to see against foundational Black Americans. He's a part of the problem, right? And he's been exposed, obviously, for his political leanings and his very checkered past, right? We understand how Flacco moves, right? But now that Tasha K has come out with her own, what we would say, statement against FBA, because there's been a lot of people who have done this, right? Obviously, Roland Martin being one of the bigger ones. And, you know, Roland's in a lot of trouble right now. Roland has a lot going on, right? And one of those key components and people who exposed him was Tasha K, right? So Tasha K comes out. She has her whole statement about FBA. So let me bring this up for y'all so that we can let her speak for herself. You feel me? Because it's important that we let people speak for themselves on our own platforms. And it's important that we let them say what they have to say. So let me let her speak.
Called my husband an African booty scratcher. They said that I cannot speak on the foundational Black American movement because I'm married to a booty scratcher. Here's what I think about the FBA movement and any other movement that has to do with Young Pharaoh, Brother Polite, Dr. Umar Johnson, all of these movements that y'all look up to, all these men, okay, that I guess guide you to help elevate your consciousness. Here's what I would say about the FBA movement. It's no different than the KKK. Meant to divide, meant to separate you, to isolate you, to have you looking at other races that look like you and hating them for no reason.
A few moments later.
To anybody that felt offended by me referring to FBA as the KKK, to anybody that I've offended, I didn't mean to offend you. I'm completely ignorant when it comes to this movement. I just know how I felt when I was attacked, when my family was attacked, and I decided to just, here we go. I want the people that y'all listen to. If they are true educators in this FBA lineage, I want to talk to them. Called my husband.
All right. So there it is. That's her in her own words. So she spoke about education, didn't she? She spoke about us being no different than the KKK, didn't she? And she spoke about somebody giving her some education. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to give her a little history lesson on who the actual KKK was, huh? Maybe that's what Miss Tasha K needs. Because obviously her comparing us, foundational Black Americans, a lineage of people, over 50 million people, to one of the most despicable hate groups to ever exist is absolutely ignorant. It is beyond ignorant. It's beyond comprehension for somebody like me and all of my subscribers and people who watch this video tonight. It is one of the most asinine things that any person could say. But like I said she wants a history lesson. So let's give her a history lesson, guys. Let's give her a history lesson about who the KKK is, right? Let's do that because like I told you guys, over here, we don't allow people to just get off the hook. She said she wants to speak to somebody that's going to educate her. And mind you, on basis of a comparison that is absolutely ignorant. It is an insane comparison. But what we're going to do is give her a history lesson, okay? Yes, her husband is African, Lynn. Her husband is African. She says that her great-grandfather or her grandfather was Caribbean. So obviously she already has ties. But let's get back to the history lesson, all right? Because that's what we're going to do, okay? So let's talk about the KKK. Let's leave this up. Let's let this marinate for y'all real quick. Just so y'all can understand and get the vibe. All right? This is what we talking about today. She compared us to, yes, bro, Ezra, salute, brother Ezra. Too lazy to self-educate. Google is your friend, Tasha. Google is your friend. It takes 2 seconds to go ahead and debunk this. But what we're going to do, because like I said, over here on Elite Media, we bring receipts. So we're going to take time to slowly dissect and break down exactly who the KKK are so that Tasha K will never ever compare us to these people. Salute to y'all. Salute, Lynn. No Black American needs that lesson. That's right. But Tasha K does because she asked for it. And we going to give it to her tonight, y'all. She's not going to get off the hook. Salute to Cruel. Nah, we don't like to hear different opinions. Sisters correct. Both are codes. Oh, is that right? Is that right, Cruel? Hey, Cruel, hang around for a little bit so I could drop a link in a second and you could hop up on here and we can hear your opinion about us being some type of group. How about that? How about you hang around, Cruel, and we'll talk. All right. So first things first, let's talk about the KKK. All right. The Ku Klux Klan is an American white supremacist right-wing hate group that has existed in 3 distinct eras. Founded in 1865 in Pulaski, Tennessee by 6 former Confederate soldiers, the organization began as a social club before evolving into a violent terrorist insurgency aimed at suppressing the political and social rights of a newly freed Black Americans during the Reconstruction era. Hey, Tasha, let me come to the front of the line. Come to the front of the line, Tasha. Come to the front of the class, please. Okay, so Tasha, at any point, have anyone made any terrorist threats to anybody that is a part of this lineage over generations here. Didn't we talk about since 1865, that was when they were established. But we understand that since 1776, Black American freedmen were constantly under attack from these groups. Vigilantes in at mass, over millions across the nation. We, as foundational Black Americans, are compared to this? No. I don't roll. Hey, so look, Cruel, like I told you, whoever you are, Cruel, you can be Team Tasha all you want to do. But over here, we're going to give you a history lesson because that's what Tasha asked for. So I will continue. All right, let's hear Lynn. Lynn says most cults don't even compare to race-based terroristics organizations that K Americans. I mean, this is what she's comparing us to as 50 million foundational Black Americans who have never at any point in history of this country, even before the history books even said that we were here, has this ever been or existed in our ecosystem at all, ever. But ignorance is bliss, right? But we're going to take you out of that blissful state and bring you back to actual factuals, right? We're not going to let you just get that off and say, oh, foundational Black Americans are no different than whom? We're no different than these folks? I think it's time for a history lesson. So let me continue, all right? Formed as a secret fraternity, it quickly turned to vigilanteism. Members wore white robes and masks to hide their identity and terrified freedmen, Black Americans. Okay? When has a group ever been collectively in our community given the free reign to be able to terrorize communities like this group has over generations of time? Y'all help me understand. Let me know in the chat, please. Y'all let me know in the chat, please. When has a group of Black Americans ever had the free reign to go into communities and terrorize those communities? To burn in mass against a specific people just for the skin that they're in? When has that ever happened? Y'all let me know. Never. Because it's never happened. It never happened. It's a lie. All right? Yes. They can't tether on anymore. Sundown towns are active to this day. To this day. Salute to Deontay Wilder. Till this day. That's a fact. That's a fact. What we talking about, man? They targeted Black freedmen while white Republican leaders, teachers, and voters with beatings, arsons, and lynchings. Bro, y'all help me understand. When have foundational Black Americans participated in this level of violence? Please help me understand when foundational Black Americans have ever participated in such behavior. Salute to everybody out there for laughing at these clowns. It's a joke. You, my friend, you get laughed at because what you're saying is absolutely asinine and it makes no sense at all. It is nonsensical for anybody to ever think that the most oppressed group to ever exist in the history of humanity would be compared to one of the most oppressive groups to ever exist in the history of humanity. Do you understand how pivotal these times were? Look, man, this is what's going on, bro. This is what was happening, bro. What we talking about, man? This is a real picture. This ain't no AI. This is real. They gonna compare us to this, fam? These terroristic people right here? What are we talking about, man? Let me know in the chat. Salute Ezra. He says, we have not flooded or burnt. Come on, man. Ever. It's never happened. Never in the existence of humankind has there ever been a time where foundational Black Americans was terrorizing communities, other than the fact of us retaliating for something that happened in our community, like when they killed Trayvon Martin, or like when they killed Freddie Gray, or like when they killed, man, come on, bro. Y'all saw what they did to George Floyd in 4K. All right? What we talking about, man? Tasha need to travel and read more. Yeah, she doesn't need to, though, because she's too caught up and convoluted in the BS already. She's already bought and sold. All right? She's a puppet that's used to do exactly what she says that we're doing, which is cause division and chaos to be able to generate views and somehow be able to get a landfall to her side of things, when actually she's cooked. Lost 30,000 subscribers overnight. This is not no game, man. This ain't a game. Pack her up. Yeah, pack it up. It's over. Pack her up. You know what I'm saying? Let her do what she got to do, man. And we're going to continue to cook on this topic, y'all. So let's continue to cook. All right? Suppressed by the federal intervention, specifically the KKK, signed by President Ulysses S. Grant, which led to the group's temporary demise. All right? It took the president to make sure and dismantle this group. How can you dismantle a lineage? How can you dismantle a lineage? Somebody help me understand. Somebody answer that in the chat. How can you dismantle a lineage? You can't dismantle a lineage. All right? You can't dismantle a lineage. They want to call this group and all this other stuff a movement. No, it's a lineage. You cannot dismantle a lineage. All right? Y'all help me understand. How? All right? What are we talking about? The G word? Yeah, unless you do that. And that ain't happening because we ain't going. This ain't going to be what they think it is. Straight up. All right? So let's continue to talk about what we came here to talk about, which is a history lesson on the KKK, because Tasha K got to talk out the side of her mouth about Black Americans and think that we just going to let her off the hook. Nope. We going to keep cooking. More history for you, Miss Tasha K. Let's bring you back to the front of the class. Come on. Nope. We ain't done. Nope. We are not done. Okay. Revived in Atlanta, Georgia in 1915, inspired by the film Birth of a Nation. All right. Expanded its target by listing Black Americans, and it included who? The Roman Catholics, the small hats, and immigrants and organized labor, guys. What are we talking about, man? We are talking about the expansion of what she's saying that she's trying to compare to a lineage. A lineage, y'all. Foundational Black Americans have done nothing in comparison to what these fools have done. Mass destruction. Can you imagine? Can you imagine a time over 3 generations where this was happening? And she's got the nerve, bro, to sit out here and try to compare us to these people, y'all. A history lesson that is needed right now. If Tasha K was in this chat right now, This is what we gonna do. We gonna break it down to the bone gristle. We gonna make sure that we give her the facts. Straight up. Salute. Salute, Mo. What up? How you doing? Enjoying the broadcast, brother Brandon. Continue to cook. Yes, we gonna make sure we go hard, bro. Because at the end of the day, she asked for this. She said, I want a history lesson. All right, I got you. I got you, Tasha. Here we go. Let's keep going, right? Because you want to skip over the facts. You want to act like this is a gossip column and you could just say whatever and it could just be speculation, allegedly, right? You want to be in that space. We don't play that over here. This is all about the facts, historical data, okay? Stuff that you can easily look up yourself, man. Come on, bro. We ain't finna be playing these games, man. We're not, dude. All right, so look. Grew into a powerful mainstream political force with millions of members across the United States during the 1920s before collapsing due to internal power struggles and financial scandals. All right, we're talking about millions of these white hats that not only were visible but invisible. Okay, I always talk about this, one of my favorite bands. Okay, we already know how I feel about this. Okay, so it's like at the end of the day, when we talk about it, we say what? We say some of those that burned crosses are the same that run forces. Okay, straight up. If you know, you know. Zach De La Rocha. Okay, if you know, you know. Some of those that burned crosses are the same that run forces, family. What are we talking about? No comparison. Don't you be comparing that to us, man. I'm a cooker, bro, because that's what she deserves, man. Straight up, man. Salute, Ezra. Says she's trying hard to be relevant now that she cannot ride the coattails going forward of African Americans. Was too broad and too inclusive. Black Americans have delineated, and that changes everything 100%. And that's what I meant. Like when we're talking about a lineage, right? You can't just equate it to one thing, right? It's not a monolith. And that's what makes people mad is the fact that, yo, we all share in one thing, our lineage as foundational Black Americans. We all share that. Exclusively. Obviously, we all don't think the same. Obviously, all of us have our own different mindsets, backgrounds, and things that we come from. Facts. You already know what it is. Real ones know. Real ones know. But look, so now that we've fine-tuned that and we started to now do what? We started to move forward on things that we need, right? Which are the tangibles, right? And we talk about the tangibles all the time. We talk about reparations and cash payments and land grants. We talk about an anti-Black hate crime bill, right? We talk about the funding and oversight for all of our small Black-owned businesses that need to thrive, right? We talk about that. We talk about this way that we can be able to start building, right? We talked about the financial wealth transfer that happened from us taking our money out of spending with other communities and investing it back into the foundational Black American community. Now that we really started to make those pushes, how have we started to see those wolves started coming out? How have we seen all these people start attacking the lineage, start attacking all these different people and content creators like my boy Turian, salute to Turian. All these people out here attacking people like him who've got major platforms, who are doing and speaking on the real, talking about stories that the mainstream media are scared to even touch. And yet we're supposed to allow somebody who's a gossip columnist, who just talks about lies and spreads propaganda, and not only that, chaos in our community, right? We're supposed to just take her word for it, right? We're supposed to look and see what she has to say and be like, oh yeah, Tasha K, no. And then you got people in the chat talking about their team Tasha K. No. If you're team Tasha K, then your team lies. Your team low IQ. You understand? Low vibration, that type of content, the way that that type of stuff is put out, man, I don't associate myself with it because all it's done is hold back our community. Straight up. And we're going to have a real conversation tonight. We're not just going to let that go all over the hook where, okay, yeah, we're going to try to talk about obviously what she said, which was despicable, but we also going to point to the fact that the damage that she's done to the community and how she got to stand on that now that she wants to put herself on Front Street. All right, you want to be on Front Street? All right, now we about to look at all your dirty laundry, right? What do they say? Don't throw rocks unless you live if you don't live in a glass house, right? You shouldn't throw rocks if you live in a glass house, right? That's how the saying goes. And I think that she has a lot of skeletons and a lot of things that's attached to herself that she really shouldn't be talking. Facts, team off code, facts, 100%. And that's why I made it clear for the thumbnail today. FBA on code. FBA on code, bro. Every FBA content creator that I've seen over the last 3, 4, 5, 6 months have been riding and smashing the gas on YouTube, smashing the gas on TikTok, smashing the gas on Instagram if anybody disrespects the lineage. And I feel so proud and empowered behind that because it really, like, I saw somebody make a comparison and I had to give them the credit for that. And they made a great comparison. It's like we moving like the small hats right now. Right, wrong, or different. You disrespect the lineage, we pulling up. Straight up, right, wrong, or different, we pulling up. If you disrespect the lineage, we pulling up. Just like the small hats. You say anything about the small hats and 24 karat people, they pulling up. Whether it was funny business, whether it was a funny joke, whatever, we pulling up. And it's the same for Foundational Black Americans. Everything is being pulled up. You got something to say about us? Okay, bet. It's up. Ain't no just, oh, we letting it ride. You know, it's cool. We just gonna let that. Nah, bro. No. You calling us and comparing us to the KKK, and let me show you who they are. And we're gonna let that marinate for you. We're gonna let you really take a look. Take account for your words, because you got to be held accountable for that. This is who you comparing us to? Nah, bro. Nah, bro. Nah, bro. We got to laugh at you. You're off code now. It's a wrap for you. 30,000 subscriber loss overnight. Yeah. And it's going to keep growing because now you just showed your hand. And that's what this delineation is doing, y'all. It's exposing a lot of people, man. It's exposing them. Every day is somebody new, y'all. Ain't that crazy? I ain't never seen nothing like this. I really haven't. Never on YouTube, never on social media. I ain't never seen nothing like this. Every day is somebody getting exposed, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, straight up. Salute to Torian. He says she got so triggered by a comment towards her husband that she made this weak attempt of an insult towards us. And she caved so fast into a so-called apology that's not accepted. Facts. And you know what we gonna do, Torian? We gonna play it so that everybody can listen to how weak this was.
An African booty scratcher.
Full screen.
They said that I cannot speak on the foundational Black American movement because I'm married to a booty scratcher. Here's what I think about the FBA movement and any other movement that has to do with Young Pharaoh, Brother Polite, Dr. Umar Johnson, all of these movements that y'all look up to, all these men, okay, that I guess guide you to help elevate your consciousness. Here's what I would say about the FBA movement. It's no different than the KKK. Meant to divide. Meant to separate you, to isolate you, to have you looking at other races that look like you and hating them for no reason.
A few moments later.
To anybody that felt offended by me referring to FBA as the KKK, to anybody that I've offended, I didn't mean to offend you.
Nah, stand on it. Stand on it. Stand on what you said, please. Just stand on it, y'all. That's all. Stand on it, because guess what? Nothing changes from this. There is no going back. That's what they don't understand. They think apologies is going to help. It's just going, no, bro. It's FBA pull-up season. Everybody gets it. No, there is no remorse for this. You said what you said, and you got to hold that, because the internet is forever, y'all. And that's why it's so important. I tell people this all the time. Yeah, this is the internet, and we have fun and all this, but the internet is now real life. There is no separation. When you go outside, you got to deal with it, because there's consequences for all of your action. She was lying on Cardi B. What happened? Now she owes Cardi B $4 million. You can't just be talking crazy about people on the internet and think it's just going to be on the internet. No. And that's why she can't talk about Roland anymore, because Roland put a cease and desist on her. And please believe that's why I didn't touch that story, because y'all know I be cooking Roland Martin over here. But I'm smart enough to understand that that's slanderous. That's gossip. I can't touch that. That's not tangible enough for us. When Roland's speaking on the lineage, when Roland is speaking on the geopolitical aspects of what, the impact of reparations will be on our community, okay, bet we could speak on that. But I'm not finna be talking about what nobody got going on and somebody, behind the scenes and all that. Nah, bro, we don't do that over here. We don't gossip. Okay? We leave that to the other people on YouTube. All right? And look, now she cooked because she went on there with Flacco, right? With Flacco. Okay? Let me pull that up. Let me pull this up. With Flacco, they went over there. They went over there talking crazy about something that they didn't know for a fact. And now they're probably going to have to hold that on a defamation lawsuit, because like I told y'all, the internet, it is forever. So when you have a platform and you feel like you just hopping on here, you trying to be funny, you talking about people's personal life and all this other stuff. No, bro. You better be sure, because those consequences are real. She's already in compromised positions because she owes Cardi B money. You don't think that she got a little payola from some entity to say, hey, yo, while you at it, we know you got a little money problems, so we need you to go ahead and say this about these specific lineage of people real quick, just so we can make sure that, we keep it kosher around here. We know what's going on, Ezra. Salute, Ezra. Yeah, man, rinse due. Get up out. We ain't got the time no more. We ain't holding nobody, on our shoulders no more. We got to move on. We can't be holding everybody up. You know what I'm saying? We got to make sure that we do what we got to do, man, because these people don't care about us, bro. And that's just facts. Yeah, man. And look, we going to break it down, too, because she talking about Brother Polite. Brother Polite ain't got nothing to do with Foundational Black Americans, bro. She talking about Young Pharaoh. We see what's going on with Young Pharaoh right now. You know what I'm saying? And my heart goes out to the brother, because something done happened to that young brother. I don't know what they did to Young Pharaoh, but he's not the same, bro. Something happened to him. And, he a truth teller like I'm a truth teller. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta make sure that, we tread softly with that. But it's something wrong with Young Pharaoh. And he ain't got nothing to do with Foundational Black Americans either. Umar Johnson has nothing to do with Foundational Black Americans. He is actually on your side, Miss Tasha K. He's a Pan-Africanist. So if we're being real, you probably should align with him. But you're so ignorant, you don't even know what's really cracking, man. You don't. Right. But she said it with such emphasis, facts, like it was the fact, like she just knew, bro. Like she just knew everything about what's going on. And we not finna play them games, bro. Nah, what we not finna do is sit up here and let people lie. All right? Let people lie. Let them make false comparisons to this. Okay? And let's get back to the history lesson, because y'all thought I forgot. And we ain't gonna forget, Tasha. We're gonna keep giving you this work, because you need to understand who you was really dealing with. All right? Responsible for high-profile acts of terror, including the 1963 16th Street Baptist Church bombing in Birmingham, Alabama, which killed 4 young Black American girls. Tasha, when have foundational Black Americans ever done such a thing? A church with little girls? You comparing us to that? You comparing us to that? That was a very emotional response from her. A very emotional response. She was triggered, like you said. Somebody said something in her chat. Somebody said something to her husband, and now she's cooked. Yes, that was not that long ago. 100%. 1963, y'all. 1963. What are we talking about? We talking about these people. We talking about these people right here. This is who we talking about. 1963. And she wants to compare us to them. Nah, Tasha, we need to give you a history lesson. We need you to wake up and stop playing games on the lineage. 1963, y'all. Come on, man. Salute to Torian. He says, I watched that documentary in elementary school. My elementary school principal's sister was one of the victims. Wow. Wow. I'm going to leave that up there, man. I'm going to take this down. I watched a documentary in elementary school, and my elementary school principal's sister was one of the victims. Y'all don't, that's bro, that's why I really be trying to bring y'all the historical relevancy up here, because this is so real, man. I don't know, I feel like me and Torian is around the same age, and that's what it is. It really be one generation, 2 generations, and the disrespect of Tasha K to be so ignorant and not understand how close in proximity we are. I just dropped a historical fact, and it already resonates to the point where it makes waves, where Torian went to school, his principal, okay? Come on, man, what are we talking about, bro? 1963, it was not that long ago, man. Those people are alive right now who survived that. Mandatory history lesson, man. This is mandatory. This Mando, bro. Like I said, she asked for a history lesson. We're going to give her one tonight. We're going to give her one tonight. You want to compare us? You want to compare us to this? Okay, bet. Okay, bet. Let's keep going, though. The federal infiltration, prosecution, and major civil rights lawsuits by the groups like the Southern Poverty Law Center that bankrupt several factions. Now, understand this. Bankrupt meaning that these people were actually getting paid. They were funded organizations. When have foundational Black Americans have been funded with anything? We over here busting, smashing the gas for reparations. We ain't seen a single cent. What we talking about, man? Man, many of us, our grandparents are old. Man, facts, bro. 100%. Some have parents old. Yes, 100%. Some people have great grandparents that are still alive from these very early times. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with my great grandmother. Okay? Like it's a different thing. Like, people really don't understand. Like, it's not that far away. And for y'all to be so disrespectful to a lineage that's just so close. So close. Like, the proximity of how much and how many things we've been through, the pain, the trauma that has been sent down genetically, generations, the disrespect to compare us to these people, bro. You weren't. Because we're going to talk about that right now. They weren't. All right? So look, fragmented into smaller, isolated groups rather than a single national organization, these groups now cannot be documented. What are we talking about, man? We're talking about organizations that are still around right now. Not on code. Not on code. Off code, lost in the sauce, and about to get sued for defamation again. You feel me? No arrest. No arrest. At first it wasn't until they went back and finally did. Yeah. When we talked about a lot of those small factions, those you already know, those small factions, nationalistic groups, right-wing groups. Okay? So what are we talking about? Right? We're talking about a group over 3 generations of time. We've already talked about it. We talked about as far back as 1865, which what they would say was the establishment of the group, all the way to as recent, okay, as modern day. We are in comparison to these folks. How? Y'all gotta help me understand, man. Because I just gave a real history lesson right here. A real history lesson, a true history lesson on what these people that you're comparing us as a lineage to. The nerve. Because how can you do that just based on someone saying something derogatory about your husband, which you cannot prove? Show us the screenshot. Show us the comment, dog. Okay, that'd be my thing. I'm gonna be real with y'all. This whole African booty scratcher stuff, first of all, that's a lame joke. It's super lame. Like, I don't know nobody who, if we was in high school or middle school or whatever, and they was shooting jokes, who would say African booty scratcher as like that just wasn't, it wasn't even relevant. Like I could get at you in a different way if we keeping it a buck. Like what are we talking about, man? Yeah, she would not live it down. We shouldn't allow her to live it down. No, man, she won't. And obviously there's also some paid incentives that people are talking about where she just dropped some wine that she gonna, I guess, be putting out there, where she got a new alcohol line or whatever. And it's just like, bro, this is so lame. Like, you're so out of touch. Like, you're cooked. Like, what do you mean? The African booty? Yes, straight up. Like, it's something that's so outdated, but then it's at the same time, it's not even old enough to be that modern. So I know for a fact that, like, when you guys are bringing up and referencing these stories, it's not all what you making it out to be, man. I'm just being real. Like, African booty scratcher, like, I don't remember that, bro. I remember a lot of, maybe if you was musty jokes, I remember them jokes, you know what I'm saying? I remember them jokes. I remember a few accent jokes, like stuff that's, that's what a lot of people gonna say. I could be musty. Somebody talk about me if I was musty, whatever. But it's like, at the end of the day, like, this whole African booty scratcher, you call my husband this, and I have lineage to the Caribbean and all that, man. Okay, but comparing us to the KKK is just ignorant, totally disingenuous, and a flat out lie. You don't gotta lie to get that off. Like, if you want to talk, you know what I mean? If you want to debate, get on some platforms. You could talk to Saint. I'm sure Saint would love to cook Tasha K. I'm sure Tariq would love to cook Tasha K. I know Black Alpha would love to cook Tasha K. I know Torian would love to cook Tasha K. Okay? There's many platforms that you could go on, all right? Professor Dark Truth, whoever, Tim Black. There are so many different content creators that you could go to if you want smoke about these topics, but you don't want no smoke for real. You just want to lie and use your platform and hide on your platform, okay? You want to hide over there. You don't want to come over here and get on these YouTube streets and really get in these debate circles, because these debates, they ain't gonna be easy. It's tough out here. It's cold, man. And so what? You get it. Anybody can get it on these debate streets. Tasha K can thank us for the 1965 Immigration and Nationality Act that made it possible for her to come to America. Facts. You're welcome. You're welcome. She compared us to a group, man. That's what I mean, bro. And that's why it seemed like a psychological operation. That's why it seemed like a little bit of payola. That's why it seemed like it's so out of left field. Show me the comment. I want to see who said that to your husband, because it's just too random. The timing ain't really aligning for me, bro. Right? Right after TPS, right? All the Haitians, they feeling some type of way. Okay, bet. Now Donald Trump, he comes out and changes the birthright citizenship. Oh, bet. So, wait, your husband is African. Word. Your kids are born here, which would make them not eligible underneath Donald Trump's new birthright citizenship. So now it all kind of makes sense, don't it? Right? But then Foundational Black Americans, you mad at us though. You're not mad at the real ones you should be mad at, like Donald Trump and the ilk of his entire faction, right? You don't want no smoke with them. You cool with that. You're cool with them. You want smoke with Foundational Black Americans who've done nothing, who've passed no laws, who have no type of real legislation to be able to actually hold that on our shoulders and say, hey, yo, we can take the brunt of that. No, man. Yeah, making ish up, bro. Just making stuff up. Lying, bro. This ain't the gossip space. And that's what I'm trying to make it clear. This ain't gossip. This ain't, you could just lie. Make up stories and say whatever you want to say. Like, no, bro, you can't do that over here, man. You can't. We not in that space, y'all. We not, bro. So look, I'm gonna drop the link, man. I want to hear from y'all. I want to hear what y'all think about this. All my FBA family, y'all let me know, you know what I'm saying, what y'all think, how y'all feel, you know what I'm saying? I just put the link in the chat. Anybody wants to come up and give your opinion about Tasha K and the history lesson that I just gave about the KKK and her comparisons to the Foundational Black American lineage, right? Because what an insane thing to say, right? Salute my brother Torian. He in the building early. Salute, bro. What's good, man? How you been?
I've been good. How about you?
Good, bro. So how you feel, man? How you feel about Tasha K and what she had to say, bro?
Well, I'm gonna go live on Saturday because I have like a bunch of different things I'm gonna discuss. This being one of them.
Yeah.
I'm glad that us delineating has everyone showing us their other face, the one that they've been keeping behind the mask and underneath the veil for so long. Like they're really telling us how they actually feel. Now we don't have to speculate about anything like that. But I've really never been a fan of Tasha K anyway. Something about her to me just never came off as genuine. It came off as very performative. So seeing her say this is her, in my opinion, again performing. But now she's got our undivided attention. And notice the quick turnaround too. Like, you know, when she said what she said, and literally like the next day she's up there making a so-called apology. We got on her early. We did not let that last a week. We didn't let that fester or anything like that. We was like, no. You opened this door. You said what you said. Now you got to stand on it. And even if you do apologize, which I don't accept, and I'm sure you don't either, or anyone else in this chat, or anyone who's heard what she said, and we're not just gonna let that slide. It's like the playtime is over. I said us delineating is a dream come true for us and a nightmare for everybody else. And I'm fine with that.
I really do think that this, just by the way that people react, it lets me know that it was totally unexpected. Yeah. You feel me? Like there's definitely certain reactions you get out of people, and you could tell like all right, I could kind of, see where it comes. This completely blindsided people. Nobody expected us to take this stance because they're so used to us as Black Americans always being the punching bag and always being the ones who are open to everybody, right? Like They try to make it's funny, you know what I mean? Like you call us a hate group, being one of the most accepting groups of all groups.
Exactly.
Right? We wanted the diaspora. We opened our arms. Come, please. We have all this to share with you guys. And not only that, if we build together, we could actually do something against them. Right? That was the thought. Right? That's what we thought Pan-Africanism was supposed to be. And then we realized that they not like us. So
Exactly.
you feel me? So obviously, like you said, we went through the data, everything that told us what we needed to see. We saw what we needed to see, and now, like you said, delineation it flipped the script, bro. It's never been the same since.
The only thing I hate is that we didn't do it sooner.
Man,
I know they say better late than never, but man, I wish we would have did this at least a decade ago. But that's fine though. I mean, that's fine though, because now people are realizing like what's good. Like this is the new normal. This is where we are right now. And at this point, there's no turning back. We cannot turn back. Like nothing can stop. At this point, nothing can really stop us but us. If this was the fall, and hypothetically speaking, because I doubt that it will, then that would be on us. But as of right now, as it stands, and it's very, in my honest opinion, infancy stages still. It's nothing that's really going to stop us at this point, and it doesn't matter from which group it is. Remember a couple months ago when Black Americans said we was boycotting Asian businesses because of that verdict, and they got so upset with us like the next day.
Facts.
Listen. This is the thing. They get so upset when we do what every other group does, and that's be tribal. And you gotta understand. You gotta You gotta think to yourself why that is. Every other group can beat it themselves and do their own thing. No pushback, and we don't push back against it because we understand that's how it should be. We've come to that understanding. Then we just listen to ourselves. You know what? Every other group is doing this but us. What's going on? What's wrong with us? You know what? Light bulb moment. Let's do our own thing. But for some reason, everybody got upset or gets upset when we become tribal and do our own thing for the collective of us. Man. And it's definitely a reason as to why. One thing I've always said is that we are the trendsetters of the world. The needle moves when we just lightly tap it. We don't even have to push it. Just like this little light tap. And once the trend is over, once we decide that it's over, then we move on and everyone else moves to our beat. So I mean, that's really all it is. It's an envy thing. It's definitely a jealousy thing. I mean, like you said, they not like us. They really, I really think that, like I said, I always say we are like the Lowry seasoned salt of the world. We brought life to this very bland and unseasoned planet. And many of them can't stand it. I mean, there's remnants everywhere you look. Our culture has touched some part of it, whether it's fashion, the food, dance, entertainment. It's everywhere. You can't escape it.
Come on, man, and we ain't even touched on the significance scientifically, the significance in sports, bro. Like it's just there, it never stops. And mind you, that's why they so mad. And to even go further with that, like you said, is like Tasha getting into this space. She's never been talked about more. Let's keep it above, okay? She's loving this. She's loving that everybody's talking about her because obviously she has a narcissistic behavior about herself, right? And so obviously her, feeling like this is because of us. We are the conversation. Everything that the ecosystem that's talked about right now is based behind us and what we want to talk about, bro. The grassroots runs everything. Whether they want to address it or not, that's on them, man.
Exactly.
Salute. Appreciate you, Muhammad.
And all the people that I know, like at least the women that I know who are familiar with Tasha K are Black American women.
Man.
Yeah, that's how. Because I honestly, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't even know who this woman was.
I keep it.
Even though I have heard of her, I've known about her for a couple of years now, but I've never spoken about her because it was like she does the gossip stuff, and it's like, okay, that's your thing. Until now you done brought us into your orbit. See, you had your own thing going, but now you have opened the door to what you thought was uninvited guests, but you invited us into your world, and now we are going to deal with you accordingly, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not going to be swift.
You wanted the
See, the
attention.
thing
You
is,
got it now.
see, the thing is, she came out with that so-called apology not because of so much the backlash, but she's giving that apology because she thinks we're gonna just forgive her and move on. Oh
Mhm.
no, no, no. We're not just gonna we're not gonna even forgive you for what you said because you said what you said. You claim that somebody called your husband an African booty scratcher, and like you said, where's the comment of someone
That's
saying
it.
that? And how do
You know
you
what
know
I
it
mean?
was a black person that said it?
Facts. There you go. And that's key here too, right? Is the fact that like we playing in a game where everything is documented, right? We could see it. And even to go further than that, if you putting some on us, show us the work. And if you show us the work, it better be somebody foundational Black American because it could be anybody on these
Exactly.
internet
Online,
streets.
it could be anybody.
Straight up. So to try to put that on, like I said, an entire lineage of people, right? How can you do that? 50 million strong of people, you now, like you said, have put yourself in the spotlight. And oh
Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna get everything you
And
want
it's
now.
and you want to know what's so crazy? It's not even necessarily her like getting upset because someone called her husband an African booty scratcher. It's the fact she came back and compared us to the Klan. That was I think that right there was the trigger, because
Right.
like I said in the chat, we as Black Americans have a very unique history with the Klan in this country. Granted, none of us dealt with them while they were wearing those hoods. Now, our
Fact.
grandparents and our grandparents for sure. Imagine growing up back in, say, the 40s and the 50s, and you just casually see someone walking down the street wearing that. Just
Man.
casually, just because, or having a cross burned in your yard, or having a Molotov cocktail thrown through your home, or your car being firebombed. Tasha, you wanted to compare Black Americans to that? Even though there is no history of any of us committing any of those type of acts dressed in that way to any other group of people because of who they are. But that was her notice that was her go-to. That was her first response. I always say if that's your first response, you meant it.
Yeah,
That was the
100%.
first thing that came to her mind in that moment, was to compare Black Americans to the Klan because someone allegedly called her husband an African booty scratcher.
But
There's no
let's keep it a
comparison.
buck, Torian. That's them DNC talking points, right? Because I remember what's the dude from the Grits and Eggs guy, Deontay Kyle? Wasn't he the same one talking about FBA, y'all like, y'all on that Trump stuff, y'all MAGA, right? It's the same
See,
thing. It's the same comparison, right? Comparing us to these YT supremacists when understood. You do that because you know that our lineage is the only one that is comparable to a white American lineage. It's just it is
and
what
like I
it
said,
is, bro.
we have a unique history
Right.
with this country
Yeah.
that a lot of other groups do not have.
Right.
So they wouldn't understand what it is that we have to go through or have gone through. Like, whether, like going all the way back. It's like, I don't think there was really ever a true time when Black Americans have had a moments of peace since the inception.
No, I was just gonna say that we
Like
fought the whole time,
we literally
the
have never
entire
had a
time.
moments of peace.
We have fought the entire time, and that's why I tell people all the time, like when people try to talk about the mental health issues that have been kind of permeating throughout our culture, that's because we don't get a minute, bro. We
Yeah,
don't
we're constantly.
constantly, and that's something that's been passed down for generations, bro. PTSD, you guys talk about that
Yes.
all the time, right? How could you imagine over thousands of years? Okay, we talk about just the 250 of the establishment of the United States, but we've been here. So for that long, dealing with these colonizers, fighting wars over time for generations, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah,
We're the only
and like,
ones who fought them too. We're the only ones.
mm-hmm.
Let's keep
And
it a
like I said,
buck.
and again, like I said, when you hear comments like that, it's almost like muscle memory. We may not have been here physically to have experienced that, but with the history that we do know, it's like I keep thinking about like what my great grandparents probably went through during that period of time. I'm sure you probably think the same thing. And to hear her say that, it's like, what? You compared us to that, to which we was probably fighting for our lives, having to avoid. A lot of the times, like I said, when it came to like Jim Crow, when they had us separated, like whites on one side and black people on the other side, black people had no problem being on us on this side, but for some reason, that other side loved to come and terrorize our side.
Bro.
And because they could, they made the laws so they could do
go.
that.
Yeah, man. And it's very interesting, right? The things that you find out when you do go through your family history and your lineage, right? And when I was going through mine, one thing that I realized on the male side of both sides of my mom and my dad's side, almost every single male fought or was a part of the military or in a war, bruh. Whether they were drafted or whether they enlisted. And that shit really like did something to me, bro, in a way where it was like, dang, like for I can only imagine for all the blood, sweat, and tears, things that my family has seen, the men in my family, things that they sacrificed, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To come back and still have to deal and be at war.
Yep.
You feel me? With the same people that they were side by side with.
And that's exactly why Muhammad Ali said he wasn't going to Vietnam.
Come on, man. Come on, bro. That's why I don't have no remorse for when Tasha K says these inflammatory things, thinking that she could just get that off. Like, no, bruh. Yeah. And that's why I'm also so proud and happy for all of these creators who are standing on business and smashing the gas on her, because she deserves it. And we need to start bringing back shame in the community. Like, no, like you need to be shamed for what you did, because that's off code and it's detrimental to the movement. Straight up, like you're playing games and trying to get in the way of things when we actually are doing things the right way, bro. They always tell us we got to work together. We got to work as a community. The moment that Foundational Black Americans said, okay, bet. Now everybody acting funny. Now everybody want to.
You know what it is? Because when they say that we need to come together and do everything like that, what they really are saying, what we need to do is come together and do it how I want it to be done.
That part.
It's almost like it has, like whenever they say that, it's an asterisk next to it, which means that's not the whole thing. What we're doing is trying to be in the collective, and honestly, us coming together to basically put BTA to Tasha K for them inflammatory comments. That is us coming together as a collective doing what is supposed to be done. And it's also like a warning sign, because Tasha K has a rather big platform. She's not a small person. It's not like she's not known. Right. And the fact that as a collective, and to be quite honest with you, based on some of the people that I have seen like talk about her, like such as yourself and others, it's still in a small number of people that's talking about her, and that small minority got her to so-called turn around and do that BS apology. I know she didn't mean that. She had to say that. She knew she had to say that because she pissed off way too many people, and she didn't want to lose that audience. That was her way of trying to retain and keep the people there that will probably forgive her.
Right. And look, 30,000 subscribers overnight ain't nothing to sniff at. Like you said,
I didn't catch that part. She lost 30,000 subscribers.
That's what they said. They saying she lost over 30,000 overnight.
No wonder she apologized.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something right now. She only lost 30 subscribers. She wouldn't have said nothing.
That part, bruh. But 30,000, that's a good amount of subscribers, whether you're monetized or not, whatever, with her platform and the size of her platform and the people, obviously entities that, fund her platform, because obviously if you look at her production setup, somebody putting something up.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So money there. Right. So obviously, yes, assets diminish, all that. It's going to be across the board, right? Because we're just talking about YouTube. I can even only imagine her other platforms, Instagram and obviously TikTok that she's on. TikTok is a bad mother. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people is on TikTok. A lot of FBAs is on TikTok.
Yeah, and I just got on TikTok a couple months ago.
Right. So I definitely feel like across the board, this is going to be a major loss for her brand in general. Obviously, with how the algorithm works. Like she'll see that little peak, you know, from this little, you know, back and forth section, whatever, but it'll never be the same after this. Any topic that she speaks on, anybody who contributes to her platform obviously will get the side eye, because now like you said, you could apologize and that's all fair and well, cool, whatever. But the internet's forever and we'll never forget what you did. Straight up. Like,
exactly. And notice too, and also notice too, in her caption of her apology, she said, "I apologize to anyone this may offend."
There you go. Right.
Words matter. I always say
do.
words always matter. She said to whoever this may offend. She didn't say
knows what she's
who I
doing
offended. She said who this may offend, as if like she only talked to just a small group of people. No, you insulted an entire lineage. You insulted millions of people with that comment. It wasn't just some.
And let's keep it a buck. Her fan base, okay? A lot of black women are her fan base.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
A lot of foundational black American women.
Black women fan base.
Straight up. That. Straight up. So a lot of FBA women support you. That's a lot of your fan base. Read the room.
And let's be honest here. And let's be honest here. A black woman or black women is some of the best fans you can have, especially on the monetary side.
That part.
And you can't tell me that a lot of them weren't funding her lifestyle.
100%. They put her in a spot. You know what I mean? And all those donations and over time, right? Because she's been doing this for a minute. So to go and choose this hill to die on, like I mentioned, there's more behind this, and we're gonna see over time. You know, because like I mentioned, she tried to do some soft launch of some liquor brand, I guess, that she trying to release. And obviously, I don't know exactly what the significance of that all is, but from the outset, it's kind of silly, you know, to try to use this momentum to try to then parlay it into alcohol launch, I guess. But to each their own. But it definitely looks like I said, it's bad for business when you talking down on
that wasn't the smartest thing to do. Like, and you trying to do like launch a liquor and everything like that, especially considering your base. But yeah, like that wasn't smart. But the thing is, I'm not surprised by this because, like I said, I've been familiar with Tasha K for a while now, and she has said some slick stuff in the past. It's just 100%. That this one wasn't slick. She was right out with it, straight to the point of what she said, and she can't take it back. So hey,
terrible timing.
Exactly. But you know what? Like maybe this was
perfect timing. Yeah.
It was bound to happen. I should say it was bound to happen.
Yeah.
And it didn't take much effort on our part because, like I said, we still don't know who made this comment.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be real with you, man. A lot of channels, a lot of creators, a lot of people, man. They're aging like fine wine because of what's happening right now. Just in general, not just we gonna go big picture, right? Big picture here. Like just in general, when it comes to the climate of what's happening right now in our world, if you're on the wrong side of history, it is going to affect your platform.
Yeah.
Gone are the days of saying inflammatory things on the internet and then that just equating to views and likes. Like you can get those views and likes for sure, but it's going to come at the cost of maybe your personal reputation.
Definitely.
Right? So what's the point of having millions of subscribers but nobody respects you? Neon. Okay, what's the point of having millions of subscribers and support but you can't go outside without a bodyguard? Right? So when we speak on these type of things, okay, Tasha, sure. Yeah, you've said a lot of inflammatory things over time, but this one might be the one that you might not be able to come back from. Because you only get so many times.
Because the thing is, we know that Tasha is known for doing gossip and celebrity stuff. She wasn't going after celebrities when she made this comment. This was personal.
This is everyday people.
And it wasn't just one person she made this comment at. She went and insulted an entire lineage that is made up of millions of people, and a lot of the people, well, not a lot, but a good chunk of the women who was insulted in that group watch her stuff.
And we're
or should I say watched because 30,000 left her.
It reminds me of like, you've seen the Flight Club, right?
Yeah.
And when Brad Pitt talks about how we're everywhere, right? We're your waiters, we're your police officers, we're your parking attendants. This is the same with foundational Black Americans, and y'all need to wake up to this, y'all. Like when you look around in your world, we're everywhere. So when you insult us, when you have something bad to say, keep that in mind,
Yeah.
okay? Because you might need somebody at some point,
And
okay?
the thing is, you may not see us physically, but you're gonna see something that we inspired somewhere. If
That
someone might be
part.
wearing it, someone might be eating it, someone might be performing it, but it's there.
Oh yes, everything that we do, okay? The microphones that we using right now was created by foundational Black Americans, okay? All this can be documented, okay? So when we actually speaking on this stuff, y'all need to be careful with the people you talking about. All right, because guess what? She wouldn't do that to them 24 karat people.
Oh
She wouldn't
no,
do that to the Hispanic and Latino
nah,
community. She
nope.
wouldn't do that to the Africans, right? But but
No, she
but you
definitely wouldn't do it
saw.
to them because considering who her husband is.
There you go. Especially when you consider the gravity of the remark. Yeah, man, it's a big thing to say. You got to have some
She
big girl
That's the thing.
panties to say what she said.
She could have said anything, or better yet, she didn't even have to say that at all.
Man,
She could have just addressed that she felt that she was upset that someone called her husband an African booty scratcher. He was upset about it. Shoot, you could have brought him on and let him address it. But
that
you got
part.
on there and you said and called us and said Black Americans are the equivalent to the Klan. That was how you. And notice something I also noticed too. Whenever people feel that they are, and this is just if they feel they are
Yeah.
insulted by Black people, specifically Black Americans, they always go to the extreme with us when they decide to respond.
Ain't that the truth?
Everyone else can insult them and they'll be real soft with them. But with us, we can slightly insult them, if we even insult them, and they will go like straight up, like turn into the T-800
Nah,
from
they going for the
Terminator.
jugular, bro. They going
Yeah.
extra hard. They not holding nothing back. And mind you, that's as well because they understand the backlash, right?
Yeah.
They know what's coming with that. And that's why even in her statement,
Listen,
she was saying, she was
they
like, "Oh,
must.
I just said F it." Yeah, because you know
It
what's
must be
coming.
some kind of a kink for them to want to face backlash from us.
Yeah, man, I really do. I think that, obviously a lot of people are jealous. Let's keep it a buck. All right. A lot of people are jealous of what they see from other content creators who are in this space. They are mad about that because they see it as views being taken away from them,
Yeah.
right? So the way that they want to combat that, rather, right, than like she actually alluded to, which is learn, speak to somebody of the lineage, really taking time and account. Nah, you want to go against it, right? You want to go the other direction and be a troll. Okay, bet. Well, guess what? You're gonna get treated like one. So
All I'm
don't.
gonna say, all I'm gonna say is this: they better be lucky that we don't have an anti-black hate crime bill on the books, because man, we would have wore that thing out
I'm
with
telling you.
all the disrespect
I'm gonna be
that
a
we have
Karen,
dealt
bro.
with
You
over
better,
the
you better
years.
not play with me. I'm being a Karen. I'm calling authorities. I'm filing paperwork like a regular American citizen.
You gonna be on the hey,
Sure.
you gonna be like that, black guy on the
What you
meme with the
do?
glasses, security. You like
Yeah,
security.
he's right there, sir. Him. Nah, I'm not playing. No, hell no. Cause at the end of the day, we done dealt with too much, man. I ain't got time to be playing with nobody, bro. I'm
Yeah.
a I'm a I'm a citizen, you know what I'm saying? I'm a regular civilian, bro. When you disrespect the lineage, everybody gets consequences that are necessary. And like you said, when you're lying on the lineage, that's a whole other layer now, where you're now trying to put us in a spot where we're doing harm to people physically.
Yeah.
We've never been in that bag, bruh. Never. We don't have a
Exactly.
history of that, bruh. But
Right.
guess who does? Okay?
Oh,
Let's
because
not
if
play
we
with
did,
that.
because if we did, that would have been the one part of history they would have actually got accurate. They lie about everything else. They lie about ours. They lie about theirs. But if it was us that was doing it, they would have made sure that was the one thing that wasn't a fallacy.
Let me
Shoot,
tell
they
you
would have
what,
gone even further and embellished it. They embellish it now.
bruh. So just imagine, bro. Everybody talk about this RACE war, right? That could hypothetically happen. Please believe if we were the ones who were for generations doing genocides, okay, we already know what would be the stance and the posture against us, bro. It'd be unruly, bro. These people will lose their mind, man. This reminds me of Burna Boy and Tyler using what we built but not respecting the foundation. Yeah, man, it ain't never been the same since, bro. Straight up. Can we keep it a buck on that? Can we keep it
Tina
a
said a
buck and
good
say
line
that
about what they
Tyler
fans had
and
to agree with.
Burna Boy's career have never been the same since? I ain't heard nothing from her, man.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping it a buck with you, bro. Like, I know she's a beautiful girl. I ain't gonna hold her. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful woman. But hey, you gotta be on code, man. You gotta know your history. You gotta know what's going on. You gotta read the room. Like Tasha K didn't.
She definitely didn't read the room.
Nah,
She came in with them blinders on.
And obviously she drinks a lot, so I think that played a part. I think we could be honest here and be adults about this, and the irresponsibility of it all, her calling her fan base winos. I think that's concerning.
Wow.
I mean, you want to talk? Let's talk. Let's talk for real, Tasha. Right? I think you might have been drinking too much wine when you said what you was said, and then you sobered up and realized that you was tripping. Cause ain't that what you do in your lives?
Well,
You
they
sit up
say
there and drink wine and put on them sunglasses and talk reckless.
they say a drunk mind speaks sober thoughts.
Okay, we talk about DJ Academics all the time. That's why he get in trouble, because he sits up there on stream for 6-7 hours drinking, and then he be saying wild stuff. Tasha, it seemed like you might be in that lane, my lady. I think you might need to slow down a little bit. I think this might not be the best time to be releasing a wine company in line, whatever you're trying to do. I think this might be the time for you to take a little break.
She need, instead of unwinding, she need to wind down.
Man, pipe down. You know what I'm saying? Pipe down and relax, because what you're doing right now is destroying your brand. And whatever is left of it, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Whatever's
After
left
this,
of her brand and reputation.
I'm telling you, bro, because I think Roland gonna get that going on that defamation. I think that is coming, bro.
Now, what did she say about Wet Yan Martin?
So, Roland Martin, obviously, this is all allegedly, guys. This is all alleged. We are a platform that talks about psychological random things, okay? So allegedly, there was a video that was going around with Roland in a very compromised position, if you will. And apparently that video was being shopped to different platforms. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There was a SEX tape, etc. Right? So Tasha gets on stream with Flacco, right?
Who got cooked a couple days ago.
Oh, yes. Okay, so they go on stream together, right? They go on stream together and they do this big reveal and they're laughing. Oh, haha, we saw the video, right? But then eventually she has to take down the video, and obviously Roland sent her a cease and desist, because obviously you must do this. He has to protect his image, right? But is there truth to this? I don't know. But what I do know is you can't say these type of things about people without having the proof. Yeah. So it's looking real bad. It's looking real bad for Tasha. I think she's going to have to hold that L, not from just FBA, but it looked like Roland Martin about to stand on business and do what he got to do, because I think what is it like when you know that somebody's already vulnerable, you got to put your foot on their neck. And I think that she already lost that defamation case. Yeah. So this will only help his litigation to prove that she on that BS, and then it might be another $4 million run up. Who knows? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So that's what happened.
Yeah, she just setting herself up for failure. A glutton for punishment.
Look, bro, I think when you are in this space, when you're used to doing these things, you get used to those bad habits, right? Like, and those bad habits start to form over time, and you get sloppy, right? And I think she's real sloppy right now. I think she's been on here too long, and she hasn't grown much. Do you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's not about
Yeah.
like subscribers. I'm talking like the mindset hasn't grown, right? Like she
Yeah,
hasn't.
like I always say, age doesn't define the maturity.
Yes, 100%. And she hasn't really expanded her content outside of just that gossip like spectrum. And with that, it's going to keep you in a spot where you can get in trouble more often than not. And this is just my opinion, right? You can ride with me and say I'm crazy, right? But just ride with me. I think that as we start to get more and more into the internet becoming more of like a full 24-hour kind of live stream like situation, we're also going to get more into people getting legal trouble for what they do on the internet. We're going to start seeing that more. Obviously, we're already underneath like a very like small, right? But we are kind of like all underneath like this control panel where we're all kind of like we can't really say what we want to say.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody really has free speech on YouTube. This is just facts, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to ramp up more and more as we get more into the future, and more content creators are going to be held accountable for the stuff that they do. And I really do feel like a lot of people better get their stuff together and start really doing their research and being more journalistic about their approach. Because if you're not, I think you're going to start being held accountable for that. What do you think?
Oh, I definitely agree, and I think that's something that many people are probably going to strive for, and all it's going to take is one. Because once one does it, then everybody else is going to want to do it, and of course, you know, when that happens, we're going to start abusing it. I can see that happening sooner rather than later.
Yes. Hey, salute to Tia. Great comment. She says, I think she felt like FBAs would love her dirty draws for going in on Roland, but we didn't need her for that. Facts. That's a
fact.
great point.
We've been going in on Wet Yan Martin. That's what I call him. We've been going in on him for a while now. We didn't need any input from her.
Right. And I think a lot of people stood on business about that. A lot of people told her that was kind of messy, right? That they didn't like that. It was like, you know, it was a little too close to defamation. It was inflammatory. It's a little too, you know what I mean? And so when you're playing in that realm, right, in that whole, you know, I hate to bring him into this because whatever, but when you're in that Diddy realm where like you're a lot of stuff was said about Diddy, but when it actually came to the case, none of it turned out to be true, other than him putting his hands on Cassie and going one place to another with a woman of the night. Okay, that's what they did prove. Everything else, we didn't hear none of that. We didn't hear nothing about underage things and people, and you know what I'm saying. We didn't hear nothing about that. So when it comes to that, that's why it's like, Tasha, what you're saying, sure, okay, maybe he did participate in those type of things in his spare time. But if you ain't gonna prove it, you better be quiet because it's not gonna end well for you.
Exactly.
And she's ignorant enough to not learn from her mistakes, right? Because that's the true testament of intelligence, is obviously you don't want to make the same mistakes, right? That's just, hey, if I did one thing before, I gotta learn and not do that same thing again. Or what? Then it becomes insanity.
Yeah, because in her eyes, in her worldview, she's never wrong.
Yeah. And now, obviously, she's going to now learn the hard way that this ain't what you thought it was. Mm-hmm. You know? And now, obviously, she's getting it from both ends now. You know what I'm saying? Because the fan base is going to start to change. A lot of people are going to be more reluctant to participate in her style of content. That's already happening. Now you're going to have to build from this, right? What stories are you going to cover next? What's going to be the next thing you talk about? And how's that going to be with ramifications from what you just did?
Exactly, because the thing is, like you said, the internet is forever. That video is always going to be there as a
Mhm.
reminder, just in case. And even if someone came across her and didn't know what she said, someone's going to bring that up. Someone who was
Oh,
there is
yeah.
going to bring that up.
Bro, we watched in real time Admiral Fuddle
Hmm.
destroy his entire career all over his own inferiority complex and insecurities.
Yep.
We
I still
watched it
remember
in
the
real
day he. I
time.
still remember the day his. I still remember the day his channel got demonetized.
The
I think
dude's
it was
an
like three. I
idiot.
think it was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, he lacks any level of understanding beyond what he thinks is appropriate on the internet. Other than like him having zero life experience, the brother is
Yeah.
just lost. And so now, obviously, this is what we're gonna see with Tasha K. She's on the decline, and she chose the wrong group to actually want to play with because
Hmm.
right now, of all times, Foundational Black Americans is looking for smoke. Whoever want to say you what you got to say, fine. But guess what? We're gonna stand on business about it. You got something to
Exactly.
say? You want to do that? You want to threaten us? You want to play games? Cool, bro. Pull up season. We not letting nothing slide. You got something to say? We gonna hold you accountable for it, Miss Tasha K. You know. But yeah, man, Torian, bro, appreciate you pulling up, man. I got to get out of here, man.
And no
But
problem. Appreciate you
anything you
bringing me
got
up.
to add before I did?
Well, look out for the video that I'm dropping tomorrow.
Yeah.
Honestly, uh, if you get a chance to watch the video I'm dropping tomorrow, I would very, very like to see you do a live on that. Because
Oh yeah.
let me just put it this way:
I'll do a
this
reaction to it.
this video. Let me put it this way: if this actually came into fruition, what I'm gonna talk about in this video, it could put black men, especially, it could put our lives at risk.
Oh, that's that just sparks my interest, brother. You got my antennas up now.
Yeah.
All right, so y'all make sure to look out for Torian tomorrow, man. What time should we look out for it?
It'll be 10 a.m. Eastern time.
All right, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Um, you guys make sure to take a look. Make sure you subscribe to my brother Torian, man. Great brother, makes amazing content. Always pulls up, shows love, man. Salute to my brother Torian. Good brother right there. Great brother. Great brother right there. All right, man. So you guys, like I said, tonight we wanted to make sure that we stayed on code and we smashed the gas on what uh Tasha K needed. She asked for a history lesson and we gave her one. You gonna compare Foundational Black Americans to the KKK? Okay, bet. Let me show you exactly who they are, right? Let's make sure we stay on code and represent and show you exactly what you think you know. And I'm going to show you the history and let you know how ignorant you are. Unfortunately, Miss Tasha, you're going to have to hold that L. And a lot of Foundational Black Americans, man, they're not going to be as forgiving, okay? You're going to have to explain yourself. And you're going to have to do a history lesson. You're going to have to take some time alone off the internet to do the research. And that's all I got to say, man, because that's all I could help you with. Everything else is up to you if you want to do it. So salute everybody. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all always show love. Y'all, the chat was active tonight. I appreciate everybody who pulls up, man. Torian for coming through, man, showing love. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. We're still growing, obviously. We got goals that we're trying to reach, and I can only do that by you guys subscribing to the channel. So make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hype the video once it uploads, man. That helps me stay in the algorithm because your boy trying to make, we're trying to make the moves, man. We're trying to do what we can. So y'all make sure you like, man. Make sure you subscribe. And I'm out. Peace.